we're going to talk about three things. One, we want to look at the family farmer. What is happening to black farmers? How will the stimulus impact them? What is this administration doing to invest in farmers in general? How are we helping black farmers? And when we go to the grocery store and we look at the fruit and vegetable section, do we ask the question, where do the peaches come from? Where do the peas come from? Are we concerned that our farmers are able to send their products to main grocery chains? And so these are some of the things we're going to be discussing. Our Southeast Regional Director, Attorney Robert Patillo, is sharing an update on the Black Farmer Initiative that we have been engaged in for a number of years at Rainbow Push.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Attorney Robert Patillo. I'm the Executive Director of the Rainbow Push Coalition Peachtree Street Project here in Atlanta, Georgia. I want to thank you guys all again for joining us for today's session on the state of black farmers in America. As many of you who are involved in the segment know, there's been very much federal legislation, but conversations and a lot of information flowing out. We do want to make sure that we get the proper information to you today. One of the questions we did get is, what are some of the regulations for if you do sign up for the conservation side of it? Does it curtail what you can grow? Does it curtail how you can use the land? What are kind of the fine print details of it?
No, so the programs, in terms of regulations, you just have to be a valid customer, a farmer, and you have to have land that is in workable use, whether you're trying to grow vegetables, produce, raise cattle, livestock, whatever the case may be. Our agency, our job is to help protect you from regulatory agency in terms of violating those regulatory agencies. We're not regulatory. All of our programs and services are voluntary. So we do offer all of our programs, you have to be in compliance with local, state, and federal regulatory. So hope I answered that question for you.
Absolutely. I did want to bring Mr. Bobby Wilson into the conversation and to do a little bit of Q&A towards the end, and also Ms. Vanetta Adib, who has a question in the chat that will give her the opportunity to ask. So, Mr. Bobby, if you could unmute yourself and turn on your camera, and also Ms. Vanetta, if you could do the same, and hopefully our panelists can answer any of the questions that you have. Additionally, for the attendees, if you could drop any questions you have in the chat box, this will be the time for that, just so we can have a brief Q&A before we go to closing. So I'll turn it over to Bobby Wilson for questions.
Thank you, Robert. I want to thank all of our presenters today. Some very valuable information. I think one of the things that most of us have been focusing on is the American Care Act, and that $5 billion that's going to pay off guaranteed loans for farmers. But I'm learning today that there's some other monies out there. So Trina and I need to have conversation and kind of pinpoint some of that other monies that's out there through farm services agents, so that we can at least inform farmers about such. So I look forward to having conversations around that. The other thing that I would mention in terms of the information that Terrence shared with us, and we found it out when we were doing work up in Cleveland, Ohio. If you get some EQIP money and you owe the federal government loans from college, taxes, or any loan, when that money hit the bank, the government gonna swipe it up, and you still obligated to do that project that they paid you to do. So you just need to keep that in mind. We're located here at 3271 Main Street in College Park, and we've worked with most of these agencies across the years. We're having a big day out here on Saturday, and we'll have informational booths set up, especially as it relates to NRCS. They'll have a table out here. You'll be able to do farm tours. You'll be able to get your COVID-19 shot. You'll be able to get free food. You'll be able to get cooking demonstrations. and a lot of other things, free seeds, free transplants and other things. So we invite you out here Saturday to be with us.
But I'm turning it over to Ms. Bonetta because you had two questions in the chat that I want to give you an opportunity to ask for the panelists, and anyone on the panel, feel free to chime in. Ms. Bonetta?
Yes, thank you. So the first speaker that spoke talked about that debt forgiveness, and that's what gets us up in the morning. And so the whole concept that we can have debt forgiveness. But then there's two other questions related to that. We had heard from Dr. Goldman that there would be additional debt forgiveness for loans that are not the FSA loans or the loans that are guaranteed by your office. And so that was kind of alarming because we were really hoping that there would be a process by which other loans, bank loans or other loans could be forgiven. So if somebody could address that. And also, I know I sound like a broken record, but labor is one of the major costs that's affecting small growers, particularly a lot of the growers in my group. We're up to 80 growers now, Robert and Bobby, in our group now, and they're coming with all kinds of challenges, but the cost of labor is really important, especially for a lot of growers, Black growers that are returning to farming. And so they're in, a lot of them are retired from other careers and they want to make that farm work. So if you could address those two issues, that would be really interesting or important.
All right, the floor is open for any of our panelists to address either the question on labor or on debt forgiveness for any additional loans. So feel free to chime in if you do have information on that.
If you're a farmer, the first thing that you need to do is to go and get a farm track number.
Yes.
When you get a farm track number, that's going to open up all the doors for all these different programs that the government has to offer to you. So with that said, I turn it over to one of the presenters.
Hello, Mr. Bobby. Mr. Leonard,
yes,
so you want to chime in?
Yeah, I chime in on what Mr. Wilson just said, and I think he was 100% correct. I was there Saturday morning, right along with Mr. Robert Tyson, who was our farm loan chief. He was there as well. And as Mr. Wilson just said, that sounds 100% correct. That, Congress approved it where they would pay off FSA loans, including farm storage facility loans and guaranteed loans. Other loans outside of that, Congress has not approved funds for that. Only, I would say, those loans that we have authority over, which are, those loans we have authority over is the direct loans and then working with the guaranteed loans. And as Mr. Wilson said, letters are going out. As I mentioned a little earlier, through this week on into June, letters will be going out, and if they agree with the letter, they are to sign and return those letters back to the county office. Once those letters are turned back to the county offices, then they will see about processing and paying off the debt. And as where I understand it, that the amount that the debt that they owe will be paid off, and then the borrower are to receive the 20% that is used to go toward taxes. I do recall the secretary saying that there are other programs that ought to come forth. Now, he did not say those other programs will be paying off other bank loans, but other programs to address needs that socially disadvantaged producers very well may be assisted in other ways other than paying off another bank's or lending institution loan for those producers.
Thank
So
you.
yes, Mr. Wilson, you know,
Okay.
I agree with what you said, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah.
And like you said,
I
a
need to
track
get it
number,
straight.
you did mention about the track number, but it's a farm serial number
I'm
that
serious.
they need to come in and get.
In the last 10 minutes that we have, I do want to give all of our panelists an opportunity to give in closing remarks and also give out any additional information or resources that you believe is necessary for people to have. So things such as websites, social media, email address, phone numbers, those sorts of things, and any closing statements from your particular agency or anything that you did not mention earlier. And we'll start with Mr. Taylor, then Mr. Leonard, then Mr. Rudolph, and then we'll be able to close out the session. So Mr. Taylor, we'll start with you for closing statements.
Thanks, Robert, for that. Really appreciate having the time to talk and share this morning. It's been very insightful. USDA rural development, we're pretty much, like I said earlier, the Swiss knife for USDA. Our main focus is, of course, housing and community development activities, broadband, and then water and waste treatment. We also do community facilities. We work with a lot of communities in that regard, and that's kind of where we are. I am very happy to say that we do have the two producer type grants, value add grant and the REAP grants that we offer to your producers in the community. So if you guys are interested in working with USDA on housing or water sewer issues or community facilities, please reach out to us. Again, you could just give me a call, or you can take a look at our website at usda.gov. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Leonard?
My closing remarks would be to give a little contact information with Farm Service Agency. Our acting state executive director is Miss Diane Westmoreland. Our farm loan chief is Robert Tyson, and our farm program chief is Brett Martin. You can contact them. I suggest that you call the front office at the Athens State Office. That number is 706-546-2266 at the state office. My number, Neil Leonard, my number is 706-546-2207. I haven't been in Athens in over a year, primarily because of COVID-19, and about to forget my telephone number there, but haven't been there in a while. But most of the time right now, if you're going to reach out to me, email me. That is the best thing. That's neil.leonard@usda.gov. I'm talking to many beginning and farmer and ranchers every day. Reach out to me. I'm trying to just point them in the right direction as far as them gaining information that they need. And I would definitely want to say again to visit farmers.gov. That website has just as much information as we as FSA or USDA employees have access to. That they have a number, again, of educational items, links, webinars, different toolkits that's available on farmers.gov. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Leonard. It's been absolutely outstanding having you. Mr. Rudolph?
Yes, I would like to echo farmers.gov that Mr. Leonard talked about. That is very critical, very, very important site please utilize that. I mean, it will help you get from A to Z as easy and as simple as you may not believe. We are here to help. So don't be afraid to go down to those local offices to request help. If you're not getting the help that you need, then definitely go on to the state website and try to get in touch with those various state directors in your appropriate state. And if you are a farmer from Georgia, and if you're not able to get any assistance from my office, and please call me directly. That number is 706-546-2279. And my email address is terrence.rudolph@usda.gov. And we would definitely get you taken care of. Thank you.
I would like to thank all of you so much for joining us today, and thank all of the attendees for being available for this conversation. For those of you who did not get your questions answered, please feel free to email myself or Trina Heasington, and we'll make sure to get answers down the line from our panelists, and we'll make all that information available. You will be getting a follow-up email for the next scheduled webinar in this series that we have been doing. If we do encourage all of you to join the Rainbow Push Coalition, you can do so at rainbowpush.org. By strengthening this committee, it allows us to be able to bring in more decision makers to connect with even more resources. So the stronger that this group is, the more resources we're able to garner for you, particularly as individuals. And as Reverend Jackson would say to end each of these sessions, we'll make sure that you keep hope alive. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and have a wonderful remainder of your day.